So, remember earlier we were saying how do you measuring the base, right? Measuring the base. So I usually will have my wire, my rib, and also my this rib that I'm gonna make for you guys. Okay. So these are the things that I usually do. I'm gonna take a piece of paper, which is usually you will see it on. Did anybody bring newspaper? Okay. So I'm gonna start with. I mean, it depends on what's the base, right? So I'm gonna start a little bit. Again, when I'm not using, I'm gonna take this. Okay. So I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna put it on the newspaper right here. It's gonna be like Lazy Susan. Why do I want to put it on the paper? Anybody?
It's easy to move around.
Yeah, so it won't stick on it. So you can turn. Yeah? So I'm gonna put it right here. So I'm gonna flatten it. I'm gonna make sure I change the paper directions. Because if you don't, it will stick on this newspaper. Okay? I start from the middle and going out. And listen to the sound. They are even pressure, right? So they notice that the slab is very flat. But listen. Then they won't get flat evenly. Does that make sense? So listen the sound of your pounding. Okay? This is a circular one. You don't have to use a circular. You can have irregular shape. And this is how, the slab is made before the rolling pin is invented. Right? It's been used. Now, it's getting too sticky. Take another piece of paper. One more time. You want about 1/4 inch. Okay? You don't want to be too thin. Thinner than the 1/4 inch. Did anybody understand how much is a 1/4 inch? So what you do is you can measure it by using a needle tool. You push it down right here using your index finger. And you come out, you look at it. That's about a 1/4 inch. Yes? And you kind of plucking it. Yeah. Then the next thing that you need to do is, remember we talked about that you need to put your name on it. And this is an awesome tool. This is my chopstick, and I just put it in the pencil sharpener, so it's very dull. So I'm gonna put my name and the class number, right? So that's my name right there. But you have to flip your clay, because if you don't, you put it inside. When you build it, first of all you can't see it. Number 2 is glaze will cover it, right? Number 3, we say no name, no name. Okay. So now you can have a circulant. Basically, you just take something that is circle and you can put it down, you can trace it. Or you can have an irregular shape. This time I'm just going to do an irregular shape. So I mean, maybe I'll just cut it. And just get rid of that. Right in here. Any of these small parts, you need to make sure you keep them, because they will dry it off, okay? So it looks decent. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now, I need to cover this. You want to make sure that your piece is covered. Although this weather is not too shabby, so you can just do it like this. Alright, so, remember what kind of technique I'm going to show you? Anybody? You already know what? You already know how to do pinch. Now I'm going to show you how to do coil. Right? So how do you make a coil? What does a coil look like? Big sausage. Yeah? So this is what I'm doing. I'm squeezing the clay right now. Same time I'm rotating my clay. You see that? Okay, the clay slowly getting longer. I'm going to put it on the table right here. I'm going to use the foot of my palm. to press, the finger to control the direction. So this is what I'm doing. Okay, if you too hard, they won't move. If it's too light, you give them a massage. You're doing nothing. Okay, so just enough. Not going. If you're going down, it's not going anywhere. You need to go down and forward. So that will be making the weight of a coil. And the finger right here is doing the. What happens if you just use finger? So you get that marking. When you make a coil, your coil won't be at same even pressure. Okay, so anybody have a question so far? That looks easy, but it's not. Okay, don't get discouraged. Just keep trying. You want to be about 3/4 inch of thickness right about here. Okay, that's gonna be my coil. Now, most of the time, people will just use a coil, but my technique is more like coil slab constructions, because if I'm gonna build a coil like this thick, the whole thing gonna be so heavy, so heavy. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna make a coil, then I'm gonna flatten it out. So how do you flatten it out? I'm a right-handed, so I'm gonna start from here. If you're a lefty, you're gonna do this way, yeah? So I'm gonna right-handed, I'm gonna pick my clay up. I'm going gently, not flatten like very flat, but a gently pounding. Again, listen to the sound. And gently lay down my clay.